Hi there, my name is Aaron Alley, and this assignment is Dig 3043 Casual Game Creative Conceptualization. And for my game that I would be reimagining would be Final Fantasy X on the PlayStation 2. It is a fantasy explorative turn-based RPG. It is explorative in the sense that you can run around this big open world and you'll get into combat scenarios when you're not near sanctuary cities or main key points of interest that take you out of the game world and put you into a fighting arena of 3v3 up to 3v3. And it's different enemies with different backgrounds. Like if you're in a forest area, you're going to get plant type creatures, water area, water type creatures, etc., etc. And the combat itself is, you make your moves, they make their moves, and then it goes based upon speed bar in the top right corner of how those moves are actually played out. And you can see who's going to be going next in the top corner of your screen based upon how fast their character movement is. If they're faster, the AI is faster than you, then they'll be going first and you'll be going after, or, you'll go, they'll go, you'll go, they'll go. And it's very structured in that way. I think the game itself could be redesigned in a casual way overall with two main things. I think you could take the main story and then you could put it onto like a cell phone type tablet deal and have leveling progression scale with the distance between your starting location and main story nodes, in the sense that if you laid all the story pieces out in a straight line, section 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of grinding, because the game was very grind heavy in order to incentivize unlocking skills for the sphere grid, you would have to go out and grind mobs and grind mobs and grind mobs, get resource drops, use them to go into the skill tree, upgrade the skill tree, and allow characters to learn more. Essentially, in that game, everybody could learn everything and be good at everything, but they would only be really great at one thing, and all that helped through like itemization and everything like that. And the base stats that every character started with kind of pigeonholed them into what they were going to be good at doing or great at doing, but they could be good or a little bit higher than good at everything. But you could take the XP and say that by the time you were supposed to hit the key checkpoint in Chapter 1, you were supposed to be level 10. So you could go, okay, instead of having, a player in today's day and age, on a cell phone wandering around aimlessly, you could just go, all right, we're going to put 3 nodes in between your starting location and your first key checkpoint in Chapter 1. And those 3 nodes, as you complete them, are going to give you 3 levels apiece. And then by the time you get to the last node, you will be 9.5 or 10 if you decided to replay one of those first 3 nodes. Cool. If not, you didn't have to. And it would allow you to scale the character's progression in a more linear fashion, but streamlined with, sadly, handrails, guide rails, so that people don't get lost along the way, because exploration's kind of lost its it's kind of lost its joy as we've gotten on in gaming, unfortunately. But most things become streamlined for efficiency. Then you can have side stories that latch off of that and progress their own way and give you, instead of like 3 levels, like a level or 2. And it would kind of help you explore without over leveling areas. And say even if you did over level it, things would just scale to you so you didn't match or miss that content. And then in addition to grinding the XP, that kind of takes that away through progression on the sphere grid, or on the sphere grid adaptation of the mission system. You could then also get materia drops from these mission hub nodes that you do on the mission progression system that would allow you to get, say, 5 to 10 times what you would get in a traditional battle. So you could use those spheres to either upgrade one character significantly, or a couple characters quite a bit, or everybody a little bit. So say you would start with a roster of 5, you could hot swap them out at any point in time, because you can only have a max of 3 in battle at a time. and you could still fight. You could keep the similar turn-based system, or you could even expedite that and make it a little bit more dynamic in the sense that like AI plays it out for you. If you wanted to hit the autoplay button and let the AI just take control, you could choose that option by hitting that button in the top corner, or you could actually play it out yourself and say, all right, well, I want this person to heal, I want this one to use fire tier 2, and I'm gonna fight this enemy myself. Still keep it in the 3v3 style battle max. And then with completion of those nodes, you get the materia, you can upgrade your characters, and you can still all progress. And it makes it to where, like, if you have 20 minutes on a subway or even 10 minutes on a subway ride, sometimes mine are really quick, you can just hop on, you can go, pop on your game, hit your node. All right, I'm going to try this battle. Okay, it didn't work out, no big deal. If you have someone that has a lot of time and can grind, you can even give them like a 3 life system with regenerative life, one at a time, based upon like a 20-minute interval. You could even tie it into social interaction and have them be like Final Fantasy guilds, and everybody could pitch in. You say, hey, request for lives, and suddenly, 2 people gave you a life, one person gave you a life, and there you go, your lives are good, and you can keep playing on again, engage social interaction remotely. And you could also do like group events too, which everybody piles on to this one boss or an event, and like all your guild can go ahead and attack them with their 3 characters decked out to the best they can be. And you could even tie in a building system, so like crafting items. You could craft items, certain tiers, you would get recipes unlocked, and you could then use some of those materia or unique materia maybe that you've earned along your main story quest progressions and side story quest progressions to craft weapons, gear, and stuff like that for your characters without doing it in like the typical grind me out fashion where you're just like, let me just grind the first 3 missions over and over and over again because that's the best way to get resources. Like, you want it to be more of a natural progression that feels like your characters are earning something for your time and not that your time is being gamed from you, where you need 10 hours of real-time progression to equal in-game progression. Why not just have it be one that's convenient to the player to play? I think that could be a lot of fun. But don't touch Jetball. If everything in that game stays pure, at least leave Jetball alone, because that was the coolest, most fun mini-game part of Final Fantasy X I think I've ever experienced in a game still.